Hey everybody, it's Captain Kyle and I have some very cool Studio Series figures to review for you. I've got Ravage and I've got Shockwave, and we're gonna break them out of these cardboard boxes and see if they're cool. Be right back. So there I was walking through a Walmart that for the past 6 months has had, frankly, shit for Transformers. And then I spot these on the shelf. They're the only new things. They had some rat traps and I think a Cheetor, a couple of the Kingdom things, but these were cool. I grabbed them. They were $10.99 a piece. Things are going up in price, but here we have the Studio Series Bumblebee Shockwave. So it doesn't have like a number, it just says Bumblebee, I guess 83. And then we have Ravage. So this is the Ravage again from the Bumblebee movie. So they're small, but they look pretty cool. So let's get them out. And first we're gonna take a look at Ravage. We don't need that. Here are the instructions. I could probably figure it out, but sometimes these Studio Series things are clever. Ooh, I have the official Hasbro paper that everyone throws out. Okay, so there is Ravage outside of the box, but still attached to the cardboard backing. He seems to have a couple guns that will attach to Ravage. He also seems to have what appears to be part of Soundwave's gun and a little additional piece. I'll figure it out when I get it out. I do miss the days when in the front of the instruction sheet it showed you the bot and everything that came with it, all the accessories, stickers, and it would tell you exactly what it is you were looking at. But they don't do that anymore. Now, in keeping with a lot of the other studio figures, there is a background image on the cardboard insert that I suppose you could use to frame very nicely Ravage in a cool pose. I'm just gonna put it away. I don't see keeping it. All right, now it does show the accessories on the instructions. It doesn't say what they are, but it does say that this plate thing goes on his back. And now looking at the figure, before I even put this plate thing on, he's got this, he looks almost like an alligator from the top. Definitely not a normal Ravage looking Ravage, but still a closer homage than what was in the original Transformers Michael Bay movie. So there is Ravage with the attachment that they say to put on him. You can also put the guns on the rear legs, so it does make it look very similar to the Ravage we know and love. And apparently Soundwave's gun piece can attach to the bottom, so he's got this big honking gun there. I mean, I don't know that it's actually Soundwave's gun piece, it just, I mean, look at that. If that is not the end of Soundwave's gun, I don't know what is. Now, as far as posability, his front legs move back and forth. You can move around his paws, which could give you pause. His mouth opens and closes, so that's kind of neat. His head can bend forward and back. That might also be part of the transformation. The tail can go up and down, wiggle. The back legs also have a good amount of articulation. You can bend them on multiple joints. A little tough to bend some of the joints, but the legs can go in various ways. I'm not even going to try a Jean-Claude Van Damme test on this one. The legs have some give moving outwards, so he can be a little bit more dynamically posed. Now, to show you the scale, here is the original cassette Ravage, who's actually a little bit bigger than this guy that I spent $10.99 on. So definitely a much smaller bot, but definitely looks like a Cybertronian style Ravage and not an Earth style Ravage. Not that I saw Teletran scanning any Panthers. So let's check out his alt mode. And there it is. It's a, I don't know what it is, Cybertronian toolbox, Cybertronian lunchbox. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's definitely not anything recognizable anymore. It's a box of some kind, just really small. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I am not sure what this alt mode is supposed to be. Does it label it? I mean, sometimes they'll say robot and jet or robot and hovercraft, but this has no label. I don't know if he's supposed to be some kind of engine, container, module, ammo pack. I have no idea what he's supposed to be. I have read nothing about this. I have the toy, which should be sufficient, I would think. but somehow it's not. So Ravage, I'm gonna say I've seen better, a lot better. The G1 version is better. So, I mean, obviously I bought him, I'm gonna keep him. I'm gonna put him in his creature mode and put him in with the other cassettes. But overall, I don't think I will ever put him in this mode again because I don't know what it is, but I can get rid of it for now. All right, so Ravage, not very good. I will stick with this one. Let's hope that Shockwave does not disappoint. So there he is, still in the cardboard, but you can see he's got his weapon and he's a robot. Works for me. Looks very similar to G1 Shockwave. If you are going to use a knife like a madman, as I do, try not to cut yourself. So we have Shockwave. He is a robot, he's got a gun, he's got ears, just like the original Shockwave. Pretty neat figure. Well, he falls over, but that's probably my new tablecloth. Who knew? Supposed to be wrinkle-free, it's got wrinkles. So, looks pretty cool as far as posability. Let's see, starting from the top, his head does turn. That's good. His arms can move. They're on ball joints, so they can move in various directions. He does have elbows. You can't twist the fists, but this is like a basic size, you know, core class. I don't expect you to be able to twist the fists on bots of this size. But posability there. He can do a Jean-Claude Van Damme the way that Jean-Claude Van Damme does it, with the toes pointed up, but he can't do like a regular full split. Knees bend, he's got pretty good motion forward and back. Because of his thighs, his front kicks aren't that high unless he really goes back. No twisting at the waist, but overall, a pretty posable guy. He gives me a little bit of hope compared to Ravage. The weapon is interesting. It does kind of look like his original gun, but it's got this handle underneath that apparently moves, so I imagine that it attaches somehow in his vehicle mode, and that is part of the attachment. Speaking of vehicle mode, let's do this. So there he is in tank mode. I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of like Armada Megatron tank, another one of these. He's got fake treads here and here. I mean, there's no rolling, so you just gotta slide it, but it's still, at this size, I don't expect a heck of a lot. Could they have put little wheels in? I guess, but then that probably would have cost $15.99. Now the weapon does plug in and becomes the tank turret. It actually plugs into the back of the head of what becomes the head in robot mode. It does swivel, and you can raise it in inclination. I don't know all the military terms, but it can change its attitude, I guess. Yeah, overall, pretty neat, recognizable tank. Much better alt mode for Shockwave than the toolbox, lunchbox things that Ravage was. So there you have them. I definitely say Shockwave is probably worth the $10.99 I paid at Walmart. Ravage, debatable. I will put links in the description if you want to get both these guys. But honestly, out of the two, if I could only get one, I would get the Shockwave. I just don't know what they're thinking with this particular Ravage. All right, I'm going to stop complaining about that. So while you figure out if you want to add these guys to your collection or just one of them, feel free to take a look at some other videos that we have. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. You can subscribe down there if you haven't already. You know, share with friends, comment. Let me know what you think of Toolbox Ravage. We'll see you next time, and as always, have fun and good hunting.